A veterinary clinic in Alabama kept a video secret for 4 years until the owner finally showed it, because something happened one night that nobody can explain. And what the staff heard made them search the entire building looking for something that wasn't even there. One night, the workers were taking care of a really sick cat when they started hearing something that stopped them completely in their tracks.
Did you know? That's weird. Where is that coming from? It don't sound like it's coming from.
A dog was crying somewhere inside the clinic, but that made no sense, because there was only one dog in the building that night, and it was locked up in the back office, completely quiet. So where was this crying coming from, and what was making that sound?
Okay, so you still want to do banana bags, 15 mils an hour, head start, 4 mils an hour. Over this way. Alright. Medication, metronidazole, 15 mils ideal. Wait, is it start? Wait. Alright, so I planned on 40 minutes. Is it from water? What's coming from up there? Maybe then I switch the bag. Is it bag breathing?
3 different people heard the same crying sound, and they all knew something was wrong. So they started searching everywhere, looking in every room and checking outside in the animal pens, trying to find this dog.
No. Alright, who's going to help me? It's in the lobby. It's coming from the lobby. No, it's not. Where is that? Is something in here? What is that? What, phantom dogs? That's fucking weird.
With time, crying changed into a growling sound that kept getting louder and stronger as they kept searching. But no matter where they looked or how hard they tried, they could not find anything that was making those sounds. What made this even more scary was that one of the workers said he didn't hear anything at all, but 3 other people in that clinic clearly heard the crying and the growling. Let's have a look.
Charles? You heard that, right? We all heard that. I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything. What did you hear? I didn't hear anything. You're not hearing that.
3 of us heard it.
I didn't hear it. No.
You heard it, right? I heard it.
I didn't hear it.
It sounds like it's coming from this side.
You can't hear it.
So, only 3 people experienced this, whatever it was, while one person standing right there with them heard nothing. Which means something was only making itself heard to some people and not to others. The owner and workers believe this crying and growling might be coming from a dog that recently died or was put down at the clinic. And they think maybe the spirit of that animal is still there in the hospital trying to get people's attention. And this theory makes sense, because dogs that spend their last moments at the clinic might stay there after they're gone. This isn't the only weird thing that happens at the clinic, because there are many other strange events, like dog kennels and gates that open up on their own in the middle of the night with nobody touching them. After 4 years, the staff still doesn't know what they heard that night, and they think it might have been an animal that died at the clinic trying to tell them it was still there. So what do you think they really heard that night? Let us know in the comments. A man on YouTube has been documenting paranormal activity in his house for months, and what started with opening a door escalated into something that followed him, even when he left his own home. It all started one night in October 2022. He's looking outside his window after noticing something strange. And while he's standing there trying to figure out what he's seeing, something completely unexpected happens.
What is that? Water? God, this fucking thing is... It's not... Well, I guess it is a window, too. God dang, that thing is fucking filthy. Hello? Hello? Oh, Jesus. It's just my letter.
The door suddenly opens completely on its own, as if someone just came inside, and he immediately looks around trying to find who or what opened it. But the house is completely empty, with nobody there to explain it. Suspecting it might happen again, he sits on his bed the next night at the same time.
I don't know, moving stuff around in my sister's room, it sounded like they were home. I thought. Then I heard like a grunting sound of like a dog grunting sound, but Chimera's on the couch just asleep. So yeah. Say about that one.
He records the door to catch it on camera, and just as he expected, the door opens again in the exact same way.
Am I hearing things? It's like a low rumble.
He was really scared of whatever was happening and spooked by what he's experiencing.
Oh man. Got a fucking chills, dude. Hell of a fucking bad. Oh. Dude. What the fuck?
Later in the footage, he shares security footage of an explainable entity in his home while goes to stay at his friend's house. The security camera captures something moving inside the bedroom. A shadow-like figure passes quickly across the wall before appearing to dive underneath the bed. And at that exact moment, a motion sensor light goes off, detecting the movement. Which means whatever was captured triggered the sensor by actually moving through the room. Since this incident, he's also been experiencing other strange activity. Hearing noises outside, voices talking, his TV acting strange and changing on its own, and other unexplained events that have added to his fear and confusion about what's happening. One day, while sleeping, he heard noises around 4 inches the morning and found his TV broken. It looks like his TV got smashed really hard, like someone punched it with full force.
Shut the fuck up.
He heard strange noises coming from the direction of the TV. Then the TV started turning on automatically by itself, which terrified him, so he tried to shut it off to stop whatever was happening. But just turning off the TV didn't solve the problem because the activity didn't stop.
Hey, Nick. Hey, Nick.
The moment he closed the TV, he heard someone clearly calling him by his name, "Hey, Nick." But nobody was there in his house with him, which means whatever was controlling the TV could speak and knew his name. A woman was camping deep in the forest in the middle of the night when she slowly began to feel uneasy and had a feeling that someone was stalking her.
I've started the camera up like 18 times and done an intro. I just don't know. Nothing's really happening. I'm scared. I'm not scared. I'm nervous, but...
She was recording her camping experience initially, so she automatically caught the whole thing on camera. The woman explained that she felt scared and didn't know if she was exaggerating, but she eventually caught something strange in the dark.
I'm really trying to give you guys videos out here, but this place to the core. But I'm fascinated with it at the same time. I'm hearing noises, dude, and I don't know if it's clicking. I can't hear it. It's like a low. Hello?
She had no idea what it was, and so even though she was scared and unsure, she decided to walk into the woods and see what was watching her. Progressively, she could make out the figure leaning in to watch her, and then quickly leaning away when she got too close.
Oh my god, dude. Why is my thing going faint? Stop.
Suddenly, she saw it move and then try to get closer, so she tried to tell it to stop. The lady's breathing got louder and tense, and it became increasingly obvious that she was spooked out.
Okay, I'm gonna get in my car and I'm gonna go. What is that?
She kept asking what it was, but there was no reply and she was alone. The video ended abruptly after that, and the viewers had no exact context that explained what was going on. What do you think was watching her? A family believes their house is haunted and has experienced many strange things inside it. But one incident stands out as the creepiest, and it involves their young son seeing something that made the parents question what was really happening in their home.
Okay, they were playing right here in the pool, and it was about 8 o'clock at night. So it was starting to get dark, but it was still a little bit light out. And right there in that room, that's where Rowan said that he saw a man inside there, and he sat in the pool right here, and he sat there staring up. And he said, "That's a man." And he kept looking in there and said, "There's a man in there."
The father was recording his son Rowan playing in a small children's pool with his mom when Rowan suddenly pointed to the house window and told his dad that he could see a man standing in the window watching them. And when the father asked where, Rowan kept pointing and saying he could see a man in that room staring right at them.
He scratched his head.
He hurt himself? He said that?
Later that same day, after they dried off from the pool, Rowan walked into the dining room and just stood there staring at something for a really long time. And then parents start asking more questions.
He scratched his head.
He hurt himself?
This is nice.
What?
When his mom asked him what he was looking at, he said he could see a man with big black hair, and then he said something weird that his parents didn't understand. He said the man looks like an airplane, but they couldn't figure out what he meant by that.
What else did the man get out of breath and go?
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Did he do that?
Funny how ghosts can breathe.
Yes. It's hurt his brain.
He hurt his brain? And then what happened? Did he say anything?
He hurt his butt.
He hurt his butt? What happened to the man?
The father started recording and asking his son more questions about what he was seeing. And Rowan said things like, the man hurt his brain and hit his butt, which made the parents wonder if he was just making things up or if he was really seeing something. And then Rowan kept repeating that he looks like an airplane and also said things like, he's a Jeep, And then Rowan walked over and pointed to the corner of the dining room and said the man was standing right there in that exact spot.
Alright, well, do you have anything else to add?
Batman. Batman. Batman.
He apparently sees the man in there.
This is Batman.
That's a big man?
What is it?
The parents couldn't decide if their son had an overactive imagination and was making up an imaginary friend, or if he was actually seeing a real ghost in their house. But they were about to discover something the next day that would change everything about what they thought was happening.
And we just realized he's been telling us a black man, or he calls him a brown man, was in here with big hair, with big black hair. And he was in this room. With the furniture in there is like from the 1800s, so we thought maybe there's a ghost connected to the furniture or something. But if it's a black man, we were wondering why was a black man in that room, and we didn't know, but we were looking around and we found out that this piece of little furniture, this thing my mom gave us, and we found it in the corner.
The very next day, after Rowan kept talking about the man with big black hair,
He's what?
He's the brown one.
He's brown?
He's not the brown one?
There's another man?
He's a black man.
He's a black man?
the father was looking around the house and found a wooden carving that had been given to them by his mom, that they didn't even know was still in their home. And when they looked at this carving closely, they realized it was a figure of a black man with big black hair. And they looked up what it was and found out it's called a unity carving that comes from Ghana in Africa. And it's carved from one single piece of wood by hand. And when the parents realized what they were looking at, they understood that Rowan had been describing this wooden statue the whole time.
It's called a unity carving. See? And it's carved from one piece of wood. And look at this that we found on it, and we didn't even know. But speaking of a black,
Handcrafted.
Ghana is in Africa, so handcrafted probably by black people.
But here's where it gets really weird. Because how did Rowan know about this carving before they found it? And why did he describe it so perfectly with the big black hair? And the parents started thinking maybe the person who carved this statue or someone connected to it became a ghost, and that's who Rowan was seeing. Or maybe the spirit of the artist who made it in Ghana was somehow attached to this wooden carving and showing itself to their son. A boy sees a man with big black hair in his house, describes him as looking like an airplane. And the next day, his parents find a wooden carving from Ghana that matches his description perfectly. But nobody knows how he saw it before they even found it, or if it was really a ghost at all. What do you think really happened? Let us know in the comments. Late one night, a man named Joseph was watching his niece and nephew when his niece suddenly started pointing at something in the dark that Joseph couldn't see. And no matter what he did, she just kept pointing at that same invisible spot.
You gotta get out of here, man. You gotta leave, man. Honestly. You're not welcomed here. Leave. Wherever you are, leave. You're scaring my niece. Look, she keeps pointing at you. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Feeling scared, Joseph grabbed his camera to record, and he kept asking his niece who she was looking at. But she just pointed at the ceiling, suggesting whatever she saw was really tall. And his nephew was right there too, with both kids exposed to whatever this invisible thing was.
Who are you pointing at? Who is he? How come you keep pointing? Where's he at? Is he over there?
Will you read it to us, please?
Who is he? My niece keeps pointing at someone right here in this little hallway. I'm not really sure who it is, but yeah, she's like pointing upwards. They must be tall or something. Look, she's pointing again, look.
Frustrated and angry, Joseph started yelling at whatever was in his house, telling it to leave immediately and that it wasn't welcome there, and his voice made it clear how terrified he really was for his niece and nephew. Then something completely terrifying happened, because an object suddenly flew through the air.
Yeah, she said something though. Like, it's crazy because, like, oh no, I'm just babysitting my niece and nephew. My nephew's right here. Then it's her, and then she keeps pointing at something. What the fuck? What the fuck? What is that? Yeah, man. And then she grabbed this lantern right here. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Object came straight at Josa and his niece, like the invisible thing had physically thrown it at them, which shocked Josa into silence because now it wasn't just watching anymore, it was attacking. Josa yelled one last time, then stopped recording, and to this day he still doesn't know what his niece was seeing, or what threw that object, or what that tall, invisible thing even was. An invisible presence that only a child could see. An object flying through the air, a man forced to yell and beg for it to leave. What haunted Josa's house that night? Let us know in the comments. A boy fell asleep on his family's living room couch late at night, and his father Oscar didn't even know he was out there watching TV alone. But what the security camera captured while the boy slept would terrify the entire family and connect to something strange that had already happened to them. Just before this happened, Oscar's family came home late one night and found something really disturbing. There were flies everywhere, surrounding their entire house in a massive infestation. But here's the weird part that made it so creepy. When they looked at the trash bin sitting right next to their home, there wasn't a single fly inside it. Which made no sense because all the flies should have been attracted to the trash. The boy was sound asleep on the couch when the family's security camera started recording something, and while he was sleeping, the camera caught activity happening in different parts of the house. And the family believes this activity might be connected to the fly incident somehow. When Oscar checked the camera footage later, he saw something that made his blood run cold. At 3 o'clock in the morning, a figure was standing in the hallway of his home, and nobody else in the house was awake at that time. The boy on the couch was moving around really erratically, and thrashing around like he was having a bad dream or reacting to something happening nearby, like he could sense that something was there even though he was asleep. But the creepiest thing about this whole footage was that the figure just vanished. When Oscar looked at the hallway, it just ceased to exist right before his eyes. Oscar was completely creeped out by what he saw, and like his family, he thinks this hallway figure might be somehow connected to the fly infestation that happened recently. And even though they don't know if it's paranormal or something else, both incidents terrified his entire family. A mysterious infestation of flies with none in the trash, a figure appearing at 3 a.m. in an empty hallway, and a boy asleep reacting to something unseen. What's happening in Oscar's home, and are these incidents connected? Let us know in the comments.